Welcome back to Forgotten Hollywood. So this is my first video in my new recording space. I hope you like it as much as I do. Now, I have thought about what I wanted for my first video here to be. With the release of Lilo and Stitch, kind of felt that that was the best topic right now. I did see it, and I actually had so much hope for this movie that I took my daughter with me to see it. The older one, who could actually understand that she was in a movie theater and watching a movie and didn't just sleep in my lap the whole time. When I went into the movie, I was thinking, okay, I've heard that it's not great. Disney remakes have a low bar regardless, so I wasn't really expecting cinematic gold. But what I was really hoping for, was that it was at least close to the spirit of the original. Sadly, it was not. I'll try to avoid spoilers in the first part of this review, but I will warn you when I move into the actual spoiler section. Overall, the tone of the film was different, which happens with remakes all the time. But the director said that they made changes to go more in depth with the characters and make things more emotional. And I was like, did you watch the first one? Do you not know how emotional the first one is? People cry watching the first one, and I know this because I have watched several reaction channels preparing for this video where people watched the original Lilo and Stitch. And there's this one scene that gets them every time. The scene where Stitch finds the picture of Lilo's family.
That's us before. It was rainy and they went for a drive. What happened to yours?
Those 3 sentences speak volumes of what happened to her family, what happened to her parents, why it's just her and Nani, what's the struggle, how they're both grieving, and her trying to understand Stitch and where he is coming from, because she has been broken. And she sees this alien creature that she thinks is a dog, who is also broken. And so she says, oh, something must have happened to him too. He's not attacking me and pushing me down because he doesn't like me. He is doing it because he is broken. Something has broken him. And maybe I can help him heal the way Nani is trying to help me heal. And it is this whole movie about dealing with grief and loss and coming together and healing and learning and growing. But the remake is basically the Nani movie. Lilo and Stitch are sidelined in Lilo and Stitch because the focus is on Nani. It's all about Nani's struggles, Nani dealing with Lilo, Nani dealing with Stitch, Nani dealing with life. And people say it's more emotional. I think it's actually just more relatable to adults, because the first one, which we saw as children, was focused on the child. And now the second one, which we see as adults, is focused on the adult. And so people say, oh, it's more emotional. No, it's more relatable to you as an adult dealing with life.
I like you better as a sister than a mom.
Ouch.
It's not more emotional than a 6-year-old telling her new best friend how her parents died.
I'll remember you, though. I remember everyone that leaves.
That's emotional. This is relatable. 2 very different things. But the movie was not without its moments. I did like that they brought in some of the original voice cast to play characters that actually interact with the characters that they originally played. The voice of David from the original is now the manager at the luau. The voice of Nani from the original is now the social worker. That's kind of nice. And I might get hate for this, but the highlight of the movie, the best part of the movie to me, was Pleakley. And I like this Pleakley more than the Pleakley in the original. The reason I like this Pleakley more is because he is more into Earth than the original. The original Pleakley liked mosquitoes, and he was all about protecting the mosquitoes, the mosquito food chain, the mosquito habitat. But he didn't really care about Earth. He cared about mosquitoes. So pretty much everything else on Earth just bothered him. He just liked the mosquitoes until they bit him, and then he didn't really like them either. But this Pleakley is an Earth expert. And they portrayed this as someone who has studied Earth, who knows about Earth culture. Earth textiles is one of his things. He's trying to understand the humans and their culture. And he seemed a lot more anthropologist than I'm a environmental agent. And he was so excited to go to Earth, while the other one was really dreading it, even though his whole job is Earth expert. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense there. Moving into the spoilers, basically every character was changed. In my opinion, Pleakley was changed for the better, but no one else was. Okay, Stitch was kind of the same from both movies. His personality was very similar in both movies, but they completely got rid of the character of Captain Gantu. And in doing that, they had to make other characters step up. Jumba's now the bad guy. The Grand Councilwoman takes over the hunt of Stitch the way Gantu did in the original. And then you can really, really tell that Cobra Bubbles was an afterthought. He really does nothing. He doesn't add anything to the plot. He looks at some spaceship parts. He sits next to the social worker while she talks to Nani. His biggest contribution in the entire movie is that he drives Nani to where she can save the day. That's it. That's what he does. That's his contribution, is getting Nani to where she can rescue Lilo and Stitch. Because she's the one who rescues Lilo and Stitch. It's not Stitch rescuing Lilo. It's not Jumba and Pleakley helping. It's Nani rescues Lilo and Stitch. Nani really can do anything in this movie except cook. That's her one flaw. She can't cook. But she's this champion athlete. She had a room full of trophies. She was like top of her class, probably valedictorian. I can't remember if they mentioned that or not. I think she was. She got a full ride scholarship to study marine biology. So she's crazy smart, crazy athletic, just this superwoman. Yet she doesn't know that she needs to file for insurance for her and her sister. That's how she loses Lilo, is she didn't file insurance. Lilo had to go to the hospital. She couldn't pay the bill, so she gives up Lilo to the state to pay her medical bills. They make it work out, so her foster family is someone that they know, and so they can stay in touch and all that. The entire first movie was about Nani not wanting to lose Lilo, and so for the remake, you have her give up Lilo so that she can go to college and pursue her dreams. What? Why didn't she just take Lilo with her? Schedule her classes so that she is in class when Lilo is in school. They do homework together at the table. People have done it. Single moms have gone to college while raising their children. They find a way to make it work. Apparently Nani, superwoman that she is, can't. So she has to give up Lilo so that she can pursue her dreams. And maybe when Lilo is 17, they can live together again when she's a marine biologist. One of the problems of the plot to me. Jumba is now the bad guy, which bothered me, but it wasn't as jarring as the fact he didn't have an accent anymore.
He got away?
I'm sure this comes as no surprise to you.
I designed this creature to be unstoppable.
And so every time he talked, I'm like, who is that?
Look, we're close. Wait, it's moving. Come on. Let's go, we gotta go.
Oh, look, it's the Grand Councilwoman.
Don't answer that. Councilwoman, not now.
What? No, you don't sound anything like Jumba. You don't. They didn't even try. There was no effort to make Jumba anything like the original Jumba. He is a completely different character. They could have changed his name and no one would have noticed. And then there's this neighbor character who takes over the support role for Nani and Lilo, which was originally David. But David is now kind of a moron who has no real function except trying to talk to Nani and being unable to flirt. And that's really his contribution. He's just there. When it comes right down to it, boils down to the essence of the movie. As a descendant of E.T., of child befriends alien, it's not a terrible movie. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But as Lilo and Stitch, it's not. It's like saying, we are remaking Snow White. Only her parents are going to be alive, and she's going to be cursed by an evil fairy and grow up in the woods raised by 3 fairies. But it's Snow White because we're going to have an apple at some point. No, that's Sleeping Beauty. That's not Snow White. Similar notes do not make the same song. So that's my take on it. If you want to go see it still, just go into it not expecting Lilo and Stitch. Go into it expecting something closer to E.T. or one of the other 100 movies about a child befriending an alien. But if you really love the original and you love the heart of the original and the message of the original, I'd almost skip it entirely because it's just disappointing. Because it has lost its heart and shifted the focus from healing and coming together as a family to go pursue your dreams. You can pick up the pieces later. And that's just not Lilo and Stitch. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on Lilo and Stitch? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, and I will catch up with you next time.